Hey everyone, Beau McDougall here, Next Home People First, broker owner with my good buddy
Scott Lamborn, work with Equity Title of Nevada, known as the Beau Title Guy. Catch me on Instagram.
Well, that's quite an intro there. So today we're going to talk about March market update. These stats come out second or third week of April, which give an all-encompassing view of the market, which we had just passed, which right now is March. How do you think the market's doing year over year? Like, where are we at right now?
I think the market truly stabilized. Normalizing is a good word to put there. There were about 2,300 single-family residences that closed in the month of March, which is a really normal number. Now, the past 6 months, we've seen a little bit of a lower transaction amount. So seeing the 2,300 homes sell is a huge uptick from what we've been seeing. In fact, it's actually 37% more homes closed than just in February of this year. So that's a big difference. But also, I know you've been hearing in the news probably about the market's slow. What's going on? Well, that's because it's just not as crazy as it was last March. You don't need to give away your dog to buy a home. And actually, the number of homes that sold from last March compared to this March is actually down 28%. So there is a difference there.
But that's fair, right? Because
fair, yeah.
Last March, you'd have to literally, like you said, give away your dog to get a home.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's multiple offers. You weren't there that same day. You're done.
You're offering $30,000 over appraisal. That's $30,000 from your bank account giving to someone on a house that the bank didn't say it was worth that much. Wild scenarios. It was a crazy market at the beginning of last year.
Well, it's also a little dangerous too, because not only were you giving over appraised value, but you were giving away due diligence period. You're waiving your rights as a buyer to inspect the property that you're going to live in and make your family's home. So, I think this normalizing of the market is a good thing.
It's great for everybody from all angles of the world. I really do believe that. Yes.
Okay, so we got 2,300-ish transactions, single family only, right?
Yeah.
What about price point? Where are we at price point year over year, month over month?
So month over month, we've actually seen it stay completely flat for all 3 months this year. Now, transactions have gone up each and every month, but the values actually on closed homes have stayed the exactly same, right at $425,000. Now, the year over year, it has changed a little bit. It wasn't as wild as we just talked about, but it's actually only down 7% from last year, which is not that much whatsoever.
But that's a little deceiving, right? Because even though it's only down 7.6%, 8%, that's not taking into account the concessions that some people are giving away, which is buyer mortgage buy downs, just regular closing costs that we didn't see last year. And when these numbers are reported, those aren't necessarily reported in those values, right?
No, not at all. And that's why they do it, because people have a certain number that they want to get for their home. They don't care if they want to buy down a rate for $10,000 because they sold it for $425,000, So that's a big misconception when you're seeing these numbers, is the fact that as a personal buyer right now, there are so many more options for you, not just one on the market, but the buy down rates. The sellers are willing to negotiate more than ever right now, which is a huge and good sign for the buyers.
Well, it's an emotional feeling too, right? Like you like seeing that top number. Some people, it does matter that bottom number when you're down in that settlement statement where you're walking away with, but for a lot of people, it's that initial offer, that big top number of where
I want to tell my friends I sold a house for $900,000 too, but it sounds fun, right?
Absolutely.
I'm a big dollar boy, yeah.
So that's all good news. The market's stabilizing. So let's go ahead and talk about what's currently available on the market. So if I have a buyer, how am I looking to get into something this year? Obviously better than last year.
Way better than last year. We all heard about no inventory. And honestly, that's a topic still being discussed today, that there's not enough inventory out there, which I can agree with. But when you compare it to a last year's market, it's more than double. It's 110% more homes available today than last year at this same time. And with tax returns coming in, there's going to be a flurry of transactions about to happen. So if you're on the fence, you need to reach out to Beau.
Yeah, it helps that down payment, right?
Oh, so much, yes.
Especially with mortgage rates, if you're able to put a little bit more down, it kind of helps that monthly mortgage payment and all that good stuff.
And just feeling comfortable, now with the sellers giving you concessions, buying down your rate, and you just got these returns back. You're going into a home with more money than you thought you would have had, just a few months ago.
Okay, so knowing all that information, we know that the average sales price for February is $425,000.
Yeah.
Now, what's our average on market price?
So what people are coming to market with. The average price for that is $470,000 right now, which is flat for the first 3 months. Just like I said, like that stayed the same.
So it's the same as sales and listings.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I don't know what the correlation is. Time will tell with that one. I'm sure I'll be able to connect the dot eventually, but that's actually only down 3% from last year.
Okay. So even with this, the market shift, 7.6%, which we talked about is not necessarily the real number, probably closer to 10% when you talk about.
I would believe at least 1% you got to add to that.
Okay.
Yes, at least, yes.
But people aren't necessarily taking that consideration into their list price.
No.
Okay.
Because they're still living in the past sometimes.
So, but it's also good. So if you're a buyer and you see a house that might be outside your price range listed, doesn't mean don't throw that offer in and negotiate and see what you can make fit into your budget. If it's your dream house, if it's your dream area, and it fits your needs.
Yeah, and the seller, might have a heart to that as well. Be like, oh man, I do want to sell it to a family with 2 kids. I don't mind offering the $15,000 buy down rate to lock them in at a 5%. So many options, like you really don't know until you try.
Absolutely. And as we see the seller's market increase or the buyer's market increase, more inventory goes on. We've talked about this in the past. The last half of the year of 2022, it was rough for everyone across the board.
Dreadful.
Not only real estate agents, buyers, sellers,
lenders.
It was very. It was just the unknown, really. I think for most buyers and sellers, they didn't know what we were doing with the interest rate
this time. It really was. Everybody wanted to sit back and not react too quickly, which was, I think, a smart decision.
Absolutely, and I think we're catching up now because at the end of the day, there's still that group of people that have to buy and sell, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have job loss, job promotion. You're moving to another state for a job. Your kids are in a different school district.
Just had a baby. I might need an extra bedroom this year. You never know why. It's back to like the have to or want to. It's not just like, wait, you haven't refied or moved in the last 2 years? What, do you not know a real estate agent?
What are you doing?
What's going on?
Exactly.
Like, that is an easy sell. Now we're back to like, hey, what's your situation like? Do you want to maybe check out a new school, new area? Do you want to go to Summerlin? I'm a Henderson boy, so I recommend living in Henderson.
Absolutely.
Second safest city in America. I always got to throw my jabs in when I get a chance. So
now we're gonna go with the advantages for the buyers right now. So in 2022, days on market was like a week, right? 7 days. It was basically negative days on market, right?
7 days on market. You haven't had enough time to field offers at that point.
Yeah, I remember listing a property, and by the time I listed it, I had offers, and it was crazy. It was awesome for real estate agents, awesome for lenders, and then obviously we had the second half of the year, so it all evened out. But that was uncomfortable for buyers.
There we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you fall in love with the house, you went that first day, you got beat out by a cash offer, you got beat out by $5,000, you got beat out by
institutional buyers, iBuyers. They were buying up everything. I mean,
let's talk about, they're gone.
They are. All right. So the number one, this is a wild, little bit off-topic fact, but I think it's definitely relative to what we're talking about. The number one real estate agent in the first quarter of 2023 was representing not buyer, an seller, and that's Open Door. Open Door sold 300 homes in the first quarter, 297 if anybody wants to fact check me, in the first quarter, which blew out anybody else selling. So the iBuyers have now turned into iSellers. Okay, so there is opportunity. They're smelling something in the water, and we all should too.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think they all got scared after that big Zillow crash and lost $80 billion.
Yes.
So we're at seven days on market in 2022. Where were we in March this year?
Just over 30 days. So that is crazy normal. When I first got in this industry way back in 2015, the average days on market was about 60 days. And I was like, oh, that sounds about right. 2 months, find a buyer, get it closed. Like, that sounds so right. So seeing 30, that's still really fast, people. Like, you don't realize how fast 30 days can go when you list a home and all of a sudden, you got to move your stuff, find a home. There's a lot of moving parts in a 30-day period. So, if you're ready to take that leap, you certainly should.
There are, and sellers, don't be scared. It's not like it's transitioning straight to a buyer's market. In February, it was 46, right?
Yeah.
So we've actually decreased that time. So
over 2 weeks.
So the turnover is coming back. So we're
I want to say it's about 30% drop. 30% drop is a big difference. I mean, I love 30% off tags on any of my clothing. Sign me up, baby.
Exactly. All right, so now we're going to talk about year over year. Kind of get that boogeyman out of the way of where we are, where we're going. So let's go all the way back to the COVID years of 2021, which was part of the boom. It was a full year of the boom of the I'm working from home. I can move anywhere I want.
I have the most money I'll ever have.
Yeah.
That sort of scenario.
So,
Yeah.
2021, I think, is the best year in real estate probably in the last 15 years here.
Yes, I could say that with facts that we have never eclipsed the over 50,000 transaction mark here in Las Vegas.
So where were we?
And we were about at 53,000 in 2021. And I
That's
just
a
want
lot of transactions.
53,000. Just to have that idea, there's about 350 million people here in Las Vegas. That means over 5% of homes or people sold or bought a home in that year. 5%.
Well, really, it's actually 10% because there's a buyer and seller on both sides of that
There
transaction.
you go. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Right?
Exactly. So 10% of people, if you really want to break that down, bought or sold a home in that 1 year. And in a normal year, and I say normal just by overlooking the last decade, it's usually around the 38, the 42,000 mark. So I just say about 40,000 transactions are had typically in a normal year. So the 20%.
That's significant.
20% increase, maybe? I mean, you just heard me at 30%. 20%'s a deal too.
All right, so let's go to 2022. We talked about the gangbuster first 6 months, 7 days on the market, things were flying, and you know, we would probably, in my opinion, we probably would have exceeded that 53,000 homes sold if things didn't hit
Without a doubt.
didn't hit the emergency brake July 1st.
Yes.
I know, I still say July 1st was our emergency brake.
That's when everybody realized that like things had officially changed. Like you could smell it a little bit earlier, but transactions were still closing, things were still pretty good. Nobody truly knew. But yes, July 1, transactions just decimated, absolutely disappeared on us, and we hit about 40,000 homes still. That's how great the first first 3 months, was in 2022. So how slow it was the last 7-8 months, kind of just made it normal again. So it's not that big a deal. Normal's good.
That's absolutely crazy. So gangbuster first 6 months, basically in the mud second 6 months. January 1st hit, people came to the realization that this is kind of where we are in the market. We're not in a recession. We're not going to have a huge marketing crash. The home valuations are going to fluctuate just kind of like they do in a normal market.
Yeah.
We're not going to see 8, 10, 12% appreciation year over year. Maybe a nice
23%. I want to say it was 23%. It's a 23% on a $400,000 home. I mean, you're basically making $100,000 in equity every year. Well, that doesn't sound horrible to me.
Well, we're talking about
sounds like you're flipping houses.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're talking about inflation and people getting scared about inflation of eggs, right?
Yeah.
If you had 23% inflation across the board, not just in housing, what would happen to the country? So something had to happen in the real estate market to have a quick little reset, so we could better be prepared for the future in the housing market in general.
Yes. Yeah.
So this was all our data stats we had on March of 2023. Obviously, we're halfway through April right now. Kind of looking back, seeing where we come from. Excited to give you the data next month. As a reminder, this is only single-family homes. The transaction days for the entire marketplace, homes sold, homes listed, and valuations for single family. If you have any questions about condos, townhomes, high-rises, anything like that.
Land sales. A lot of dirt's being moved here in Las Vegas. Not much dirt to be had.
It is.
So if you have it, there's probably an opportunity to be sold.
I have a land deal this week that's going through.
There you go.
People are excited about building now that the construction costs are coming down too.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it a little more palatable to do that. But if you have any questions about any of this data, real estate, title issues, what they do and how that process works, we're gonna do more videos on that, but reach out to us anytime. Once again, Beau McDougall, Next Home People First, broker owner.
Scott Lamborn, Equity Title of Nevada. Once again, Go Title Guy on Instagram. Follow me, would love it. Love to help you out in your marketing needs.
Share, like this video, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks. Oh, maybe that bad.
That was fun.